Hello, MGT 406. First of all, I really want to thank you for a great first class. I appreciate everybody getting there on time, and most importantly, the review of the chapter was really energetic, and I really appreciate that. And I hope you continue reading the chapters, and then we can have some great discussions in all the on-campus classes. What I wanted to do with the screencast is to talk a little bit about section 2 that you'll be working on, but also review the deliverables. And again, this course, what you'll be doing is creating a research paper on the global corporation that you selected. And of course, as the title says, this course is about the strategy of business and also international environment that your company is in. I have revised the syllabus just a little bit. It's the section 2 area because I completed my work on section 2 and I just wanted to make a few changes to make things just a little more relevant. Now, if you have already completed section 2 per the previous criteria in the syllabus, that's fine, no problem at all. And then also you'll upload the progress each week per the master schedule. And please, when you upload your next sections, please be sure to upload the entire paper, including your cover page. That way I can briefly see which paper it is when I'm looking at a section. Then at the end of the semester you will have a presentation. It will be about 12 to 15 minutes long. You will be giving a summary of your research paper, but most importantly, share with your other classmates your significant personal moments and gold nuggets. A moment is something that you discovered and you go, wow, that's really interesting. I did not know that. And a gold nugget is usually a piece of data that's very impactful to you. And we'll talk more about the presentation later on. Also to review, most of the information that you will use for your paper will be the textbook. The chapters are somewhat aligned with the sections, but not completely. Class activities, discussions, mini lectures, any videos we watch, you'll gain some information from those. And of course, the 3 main corporate publications just have a wealth of information that will essentially write probably about 80% of your research paper. And what some of you are finding is that a lot of times the annual report is combined with the SEC 10K report. It can be separate, and that's an interesting discovery. And then, of course, the definitive proxy statement 14A. As we mentioned, you can find that on the company website, if not through a direct search. Secondary sources can also be just general keyword searches, the Alverno Library links. I would encourage you to explore those professional portals for information. And then some financial groups like E-Trade, Bloomberg, and McKinsey as a consulting company has a lot of great information too. So I'd like to just now review the section 2 criteria. This was in the syllabus. It's changed just a little bit. I have reposted the revised syllabus on Moodle. But one of the things we want you to do is to explore leadership. And so Jim Collins created these 5 levels of leadership. Now there's just mention of that in the book, the textbook, but so you'll have to research more about what are those 5 levels. And please just don't say, it's obvious that the top executives are level 5 people, but discuss what the other levels are in your paper. And then, that'll be really helpful for you and the reader. You should also then find the top 5 executives of the corporation, and these are referred to as NEOs, the Named Executive Officers. On all of the Form Ks and in reports, these people are highlighted because they're the top paid people. So find those people, list their names, their titles, and their total compensation that they receive each year. I did this with a table in my paper, and you'll see that when I post that paper after your Section 2 papers are submitted, so you can have a reference. Also find the directors on the board of directors. So you'll list those people, list their titles, and their title, not director, but most of the board members, the directors, work for other companies or have had experience with other companies. So if someone, say, is on the board and they're for your company and it's Coca-Cola, and maybe that person is the CEO of Boeing Corporation, so that would be their title, CEO of Boeing and the corporation they work for. I would say sometimes people have a number of experiences on their resume. I would pick, a title and a company that you think is most aligns with the corporation that you're researching. Then on page 30 in the book, the textbook, they talk about major roles of the board. So I would list those and also maybe discuss ones that are more applicable to your company. And again, not only just list them, but maybe you talk about some of these line items in more detail. When you look at the board of directors, discuss the diversity or lack of diversity on that board. And it's not only just ethnic diversity or gender diversity, but diversity of industries as well. The boards are striving to be more diverse, and take a look at the board for your company and talk about your opinions based on your observations, whether the level of diversity on that board. Age is also a form of diversity too. So it's just not only the ethnic composition, but there are so many other ways to look at diversity. Now, the balanced scorecard is also in this chapter, and it would be helpful in your paper if you could explain each of the 4 components, and then you start to look at how the corporation uses this balanced scorecard. And when you start reading and reviewing these 3 major publications that you find with the corporation, is the annual report, the 10K, the Depth 14A, you'll start to see that it's amazing how especially the annual report really does touch upon all 4 of these components. So what I did on my paper that I wrote was I talked about what the financial component is, and what aspects of that is the shareholder looking for. Again, my company is Harley-Davidson, and there's just a lot of information of how the corporation perceives the customer and the tremendous connections they have with the customer. Their internal business processes, this is a little bit tougher to find. This is a case where you may indeed need to go to some outside sources, some general searches. For instance, you might just want to search business processes at Coca-Cola or whatever company you're doing, and you'll be surprised how many articles will pop up. So again, whenever you're stuck on trying to find information about your company with just the materials that you have in hand right now, please reach out and find some other sources. The information is there. And then innovation and learning. How does the corporation sustain change and improvement? Well, that really is about new product development, new services being offered, and how do they go about doing that. Again, Harley with their product development center, I found some articles on that in some outside publications and journals and magazines. It was very helpful. So that's it with section 2 in regards to criteria. You can certainly do this in the week's amount of time, so dig in, get on top of it, and you'll be just fine. So just a few reminders to, you should have all those reports from the company in hand right now, but you have to read those reports. And so take some time, skim over them, and what I did is I I ripped through all of them and I highlighted certain items that relate to the criteria and the learning outcomes of this course. And when I see something, I'll talk about their strategy or their global operations, their financial status, how they interact with their customers. I would just highlight those. And this will not be a one read-through. You'll be reading these a number of times and going back to them. So really, as I said in the first class, 80 to 90% of this paper will write itself by the exemplary research that you do, and then your original thought is just connecting them together and maybe talking about your observations. Please explore other sources of information. And what I really hope for as an instructor and a professor is that you truly learn these concepts. You live this project, that you're thinking from an analytical standpoint, you're asking questions. When you read something, do you really understand it and comprehend it? This paper is not about just responding to the criteria with a simple yes or no or their level 5. It's really helping me to understand that you're truly comprehending the material in this course. Educate the reader. As I said, you're a consultant and you are writing this paper for someone to learn about this corporation. So also educate them. For example, the level 5 leadership. Talk about those different 5 levels. Maybe you relate to some of your experiences. Connect this information. All these items are interconnected that we're exploring. So hopefully you start to see that. I would also highly recommend and remind you that you need to submit these paper sections on time. If you get behind, you will be in trouble. So please get on top of this. Again, it's the only class you have, and just live this class. And then collaborate with your classmates. Feel free to exchange papers if you want. Show each other what you're doing. Share maybe a journal that you found that has a lot of information, and that will be very helpful. So those are some of my thoughts. Good luck with section 2. Let's also then, I have another slide here. Let's talk about what's next. So on Tuesday, join the chat session. This is not mandatory. This is a asynchronous positioning of the hybrid course. You're welcome to join the chat session. I would encourage you to do so. I will be online. I believe I said 6 to 7 p.m. It's posted on Moodle. And then what you'll do is you'll submit your section 1 via Moodle Dropbox by midnight that Tuesday, July 6th. So you have that evening to also work and finish your paper. Then please read chapter 2 and be prepared to discuss that also when we meet face to face, because we'll have chapter 3 then too. But the key components of that chapter 2 are the balanced scorecard, the role of the board, and also leadership. Do the screencast section 2 posted on Moodle, which you're actually doing now, and then work on section 2 per the syllabus criteria. So that's all I've got right now. Feel free to email me at any time. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I will also get you feedback probably within a day or two after you submit your section 1, so you can carry on. So thanks a lot, and good luck with section 1, and just get on top of section 2 as soon as you can. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.